Alright, let's test this out. I don't know how that sounds coming through there because I got a whole new computer, so I'm just doing a test right now. And I'm going to do my Monday Night Live here in a second. Anybody can let me know how it sounds. Alright, so I guess that's good enough for a test. Hopefully, we can do okay. Thank you for indulging that, and welcome to Monday Night Live. It's Tuesday morning here in Thailand, where I'm at the Maladar Retreat Center. And I've been asked to talk about something that's coming up for a lot of people. So let me pop this up here. It's from the book, Waking Up in a Dream. And I want to let people know this is a, hey Stephanie, thank you. Lots of good stuff on the net tonight. Good music, by the way. I love it. Thank you. I'll have to listen back and see what it sounds like. My whole system is completely different now since my old MacBook went on to the next level and I had to get a new one. And Apple removed a lot of the inputs and stuff. Thank you, Apple. Anyway, this has been coming up for a lot of people, and this is what, okay, that sounds a little low, yeah. I've got a microphone here, and the only way I can get it to go through the computer right now, since Apple removed my input from the newer computer, is to put it right next to the speaker. And if I'm not careful, then my microphone will feedback. So, sound is echoing. All right. Okay, cool. I'm just going to smile and roll with it. Hang on 1 second. All right, that should make a difference. Let me know. I got a whole new routing system here through my guitar processor and stuff, so let me know if that's working a little better. So, we are experiencing some incredible shifts right now. Incredible. Thank you, Lee. Sound is better. Yeah, it'd be great to have my old studio set up, but I don't have that since I'm not in California right now. But it's working out some bugs, so thank you for your mirroring. Otherwise, I wouldn't know until I listen back. So with everything that's showing up right now on the planet, anybody that's tuning into this pretty much knows we have two different choices, pretty much. The fear-based media, governmental, low vibrational stuff, or start to really realize that even though that stuff is happening, there is a huge, magnificent reason for it to be happening right now, and the fact that we came here to be here during this. And when I use the word magnificent, that might trigger some people, because I just got off a call last night with a dear friend in Australia, a woman that went through my course, and we became really good friends. And 2 of her friends have passed away in the last month because they decided to succumb to the V. And so this is quite painful for people to watch this go down, myself included. I mean, I'm an empath. It can be pretty intense. But here's the deal. I'm sure many of you know this, but this is what I was asked to speak about, and this is what I believe is the most important tool and topic on the planet. And again, if any of you have questions out there, please feel free to ask. There are no dumb questions. In fact, the people that ask questions are actually brave heroes because they just open up things for everybody else on the call. You know, a lot of people might have a question, but they don't want to ask it because they feel like they're going to be on the spot or under a magnifying glass or something like that, which is never the case. I'm super gentle and super grateful for anybody that shows up and adds to opening this up so that more people can understand the power that we have right now, right here. It's not outside of us. We don't need to do anything else but hold our frequency. So in the book, it talks about what's really going on our soul's journey. And I wish I would have known this 30 years ago or longer. I mean, because I was basically in resistance, and I was what I call in the book an automatic reactor to anything that happened in my life that I didn't prefer, right? So anything that challenged my belief system or anything that touched on one of my childhood wounds from my chosen soul contract trauma when I came into this journey. You know, my dad dying when I was 7, growing up with an uncle that had 8 children and, 7 girls. And man, he was tough on me and his only son. It was tough, but that was my part of my soul contract to evolve and to learn these tools to be able to share with other people. And so what I finally learned after studying with my mentor, Don Miguel Ruiz, and many other teachers, is that everything that is showing up in my life is the result of my higher self bringing me further into my soul's pre-planned mission. Really key right there. Pre-planned mission. Now, I didn't remember this. I still don't even know if what I'm doing today is my pre-planned mission, but it's obviously part of it because I'm doing it. And I can change it at any time based on what brings me joy and excitement and keeps me in the highest frequency, whether it's nature, whether it's music, whether it's art, whether it's aligning with like-minded people, whether it's traveling, playing concerts, hanging out with the wild jungle dogs. This is all everybody's individual invitation to figure out. So my invitation is to know this, that everything that is showing up in my life is a result of my soul contract. And you don't have to believe me on this. Like my teacher told me, don't believe me, don't believe yourself, but really question this deeply. So I came to the conclusion that when challenges arise, the greatest freeing question ever on my soul's journey is, what is this trying to teach me or show me about Jeff in my soul's journey? See, before I was an automatic reactor, I was a judgeaholic. Some of you have heard me speak about this before. I wrote a whole chapter about judgment, the biggest addiction on the planet, and how to undo it very quickly. Because everything that we judge and we think that's happening to us out there is actually a reversed hologram to things that we're holding in here. Now that may bring up questions such as, well, Jeff, that's not true because I'm not a pedophile and I understand that. It's the collective energy that's being held, the light and the dark, the balance. So the key and the doorway to our freedom is anytime we have a judgment, anytime we get triggered, anytime we have some trauma activated from our past, or anytime we think somebody is doing something to us, we ask the billion-dollar question. What is this trying to teach me about me? And see everybody as your greatest teacher, especially those that we judge and that trigger us. Biggest key I ever learned right there. See everyone as our greatest teachers, especially those that we judge and that trigger us. Because those are the ones that are mirroring us and reminding us that we're still holding either a wound, a judgment, a very limited belief, or we haven't cleared or healed a trauma yet. And if we don't clear it, then guess what? It's going to keep showing up over and over and over and over in all of our life and relationships. So it's really, really key to understand this. And I talk about this all the time because it was really one of the greatest breakthroughs that I've ever had when the light bulb went off. And I realized that my belief system was a prison. I'll say that again. My belief system was a prison. And you can look at how most people's belief systems are imprisoning them. The majority of people talk about what happened to them in the past, what they don't like. And, you know, this is shifting. This is the great thing. That it's shifting into how amazing everything is, how incredible it is that we now understand that our vibration and our frequency is a magnet. We're walking magnets, and we attract the timelines into our reality. They're already here. Every single thing you can imagine already exists. It's not in the future. It's already here. So what magnetizes it to us in our life and relationships? Our beliefs, our imagination, which is huge. That's why little children are so powerful. They never talk about, I'm going to someday, I'm trying, I need to. No, they go, it's here. I'm on a rocket ship. I'm hanging out with the fairies. I'm flying with the dragons. Everything is already done. It's already here now. So it's super, super key when we wake up in the morning out of what we call the sleeping dream, because we're dreaming all the time, right? We're dreaming right now. When my mentor, Don Miguel Ruiz, told me that, my mind just started twisting. It was like, really? Because the ego can't control that. What do you mean I'm dreaming right now? I think I'm in control. I think I'm awake. So that was one of the really cool aha moments I got to look at. And to understand that if things are not going exactly as you'd like in your life right now or your relationships, that it's really easy to figure out what's not working. It's not what they're saying. It's not what they're doing. It's in here. That's the key. The hologram is reversed. When we understand this, and I'm not saying nobody on this call doesn't understand it, but the people that I journey with, we can never hear this enough and remind ourselves and others of this key. Because if you're getting triggered, if you're judging, then you're not understanding that keeps occurring to show you that you're judging. And the key is to go, isn't that interesting? Isn't that interesting? I don't really like that. I don't like that they're harming people and giving them toxic injections and, harming children by blocking their airflow and people. And okay, however, this is the extremeness or the extremity that it takes to wake people up, because you're seeing that so many people still aren't, they're just going along with it. Okay, well, all right, it's been 1 year now 2 years. All right, well, I'll go get a V. It's not even proven to work. It doesn't work. And now they're telling me that it doesn't work. And now you got to get, what is it? The second one and the third one. But keep wearing that mask too. But you can take it off when you sit down to eat dinner, because when you come down 6 inches, the thing's not up here. It's only when you stand up. It's like, it's mind-blowing. And people either still aren't figuring it out, or they don't want to admit that they got tricked into it for so long that they're just going to go along with it, or they don't want to receive any shame or guilt from their family, friends, or coworkers, so they just decide to go along with the herd. No, sorry. That's not going to free us from thousands of years of slavery. And the great news is that this is all coming up, and we chose here to be at this time. So the last part of this is the key from after asking, what is this trying to teach me? Every trigger, every judgment, every automatic reaction. You stop yourself, and this is all detailed, step by step, so simple in the book, the digital online course, and those that journey with me, if you want to do the 30 days of deep dive. It's the most powerful experience I know of, because it's every day we're looking at raising conscious awareness, clearing out limiting beliefs, and truly amplifying our frequency from an unlimited mindset from the time we wake up in the morning until the time we go to bed. And the tools get you to see the programs like that quickly. Doesn't take years. Within the first week or two, even on one call, you'll see the program. And then it'll never be able to do what it does to you again. And sooner or later, people are going to wake up to these tools, and it's my passion to share them among other things that I do. So after asking, what is this trying to teach me about me, which is probably the most mind-expanding and healing question I've ever come up with in my entire life. And so I stay out of resistance, and I stay in the flow by choosing my thoughts, my words, and my emotions consciously Every morning I create my day. I create my reality before those 50 to 80,000 thoughts start running. Because so many people just wake up, the alarm goes off, and the mind goes like this. I got to get up, I got to get in the shower, I got to put on a pot of coffee, I got to get the kids ready for school. I've got 1 hour before I got to get in traffic. Maybe I work at home, maybe. Those 50 to 80,000 thoughts are the same thoughts that run over and over and over and over, unless we begin to dismantle the belief system. Again, if anybody has any questions about this, really, really, you're welcome to ask them, because it opens up a lot for people. Because, otherwise I'm talking to myself, and I'm okay with that too, because I wrote the whole book just as notes to myself so I would never forget. So I create my reality with my thoughts, my words, my emotions, my imagination, and the frequency that I put behind it. Every morning when I wake up and my head's still on the pillow, I get excited and I give love to every cell. I thank them for loving me in every moment, every second since I've been in the womb. And then I consciously create my reality, imagining exactly how my day is going to go. And I see anything that I desire is already here now. Already here, never in the future. Never use words like hope, wish, need, want, going to, try. Those are all spell words. Look them up. It's called spelling for a reason. But we've just been taught to use these words, so we don't really think about it. I intend that this is landing because this changes the way that you create your entire reality. And this breaks down and dismantles the 3D matrix programs that were set up to keep us recycling in the same stuff over and over and over. The school system, which teaches you what to think instead of how to think. Why don't they teach you what's in the book? Why don't they teach you every time you have an emotional reaction or a trigger or a judgment, you stop and you ask, that's about me. What is it? That way you don't go through 20, 30, 40, 50, 60, 70, 8 decades of your life reacting to the same programs and creating the same things over and over and over in life and relationships. This is the key, and this is what's going to be taught in the first grade. And the first grade is the only grade that's going to need to be taught. The tools in the book will be taught to children. I'm already converting the book into a book for children. It doesn't really need to be converted that much because it's really self-explanatory. It's that simple. You don't need to be a rocket scientist. You don't need to sit down for hours to figure it out. Only the mind thinks that. But when you go step by step by step through the tools and you start to track the frequency of your thoughts and your words and really become aware, every single thing shifts. Everything shifts. Why? Because it has to. Because it's the law of creation. Frequency, vibration. The thing is, so many people are just reacting and running the same program. So they're just carrying in yesterday, just like Santa Claus, carrying in all those thoughts and beliefs. Life is hard. Money is tough to come by. Man, I hope I can retire someday. Retired, a spell word, one of the biggest spell words. Give up 65 years of your life to become retired. Re, meaning to recycle. Tired, you know what that means. It's a spell word. Okay? So becoming aware of this and then going, oh, okay. I see what they did in the school system. I see what they did in religion. Give away your power to somebody else. Get down on your knees and pray. Give away money, asking that something outside yourself will throw you a bone. Touchy stuff for some people. That could piss some people off. I grew up in the church. I grew up in Catholic school, private Catholic school, with angry, pissed off nuns every single day. I was an altar boy in church until the 9th grade. So I'm speaking from experience. You know, these systems were put in place, all of them, medical history, the deception of our planet and our history, medical, spelling, religion, school system. I mean, I would intend that most people are seeing this by now. They know something's very, very wrong. Been locked down for almost 2 years. Come on. They're not going to unlock us until everybody's had their 100th V. And their DNA is so disconnected from their soul that they're easier to control and manipulate. That's the whole name of the game. Okay? So you got to be able to see it. You know? So here's the good news. Here's the positive whole thing about this whole deal. Everything is showing up in my life to bring me into further awareness of my soul's higher purpose. So what's your soul's higher purpose here? Do you know? That can be a tough one for some people if they've been in the system for so long and they're like, oh, I don't know. I've just been working a job. I'm just waiting until in 17 more years I can retire. I don't know what else I would do. I've got a house and a mortgage and a car and, well, I understand. But the key is, are you happy doing what you're doing every morning when you wake up? Are you excited? And if you're not, then that's your soul telling you, hey, you are an unlimited being. So, will you take the easy way out, which is really the hardest way, and just continue to keep doing what you've been doing because you went to school for it, and now you're invested, and now you've got some 401k, which they usually steal from you in the end, or change the whole system? Or is it like, I've always wanted to do this. I've always wanted to do that. Nowadays with the computer, you can reach people all over the world. Every single one of my clients almost, I've never met in person. Well, a couple of them I have now, because after they've done the course, we've connected, and a couple of them have come to the retreat center here in Thailand, and it's great. You can do anything you want to do, as long as you do not believe the limitations of the belief system. All right? So, all right, Stephanie's got a question. Thank you, Stephanie. All right, so the veil is dropped, and we see everything has been false. But what do we do with this? We're already doing it. We're waking up, and we're already building a new world. It's already being built. So I love this question because it's a really honest question, and this sheds some light on stepping into your power, Stephanie, and everybody else. Okay? So, as we're speaking about on this topic, the reason why so many people are walking around with this and they're afraid that they can sit at their table and take it off for a minute, but then put it back on, is because they're believing the lie in the external. Now, where did they get that lie? Where did it come from? It came from the television and the media, which are all owned by the same soulless, dark corporation. It's a soulless entity. They have no love. They feed off of the lower vibrations. Okay? So, if we didn't have the television and the media, nobody would be walking around like this. Are you kidding me? Okay, so what do? We unplug from all fear-based, deceptive, low vibrational stuff. Now that might bring up the question, well, it's everywhere. I can't even go into a restaurant or a store or whatever without wearing my mask. Then don't go in. I boycott every single business that is submitting to the dark agenda. I will say, I wore an mask the other day for 2 minutes. I went all the way into town in Chiang Mai. I had my list of healthy things I get, and I bought a month's worth of supplies. I had my mask on. I don't cover my nose because I want oxygen to get into my brain because that's how my body's designed. So I go in with respect to the Thai people. I get my stuff, and as soon as I walk out the door, it's off. But I don't go any other places I don't have to, and now I'm good for another month. So do your best. Don't feel guilty about doing whatever you have to do, but begin to consciously create your reality every single morning and throughout the day. When people journey with me or go through the book, they're setting alarms on their phone. It's going off every hour, and they're going, all right, there's my alarm. If I can, and I'm not driving in my car or whatever, I'm going to stop. Where's my frequency right now? Am I in fear or am I excited? And I'm envisioning the new earth. I already see it. It's already here. There's so many people that are awake around the planet. There's so many people coming in right now that are already switched on. There's so many people aligning all over the world with new inventions and new energy, and they just know that that's what they came here for, and that is shifting the entire frequency of the entire planet, whether you know it or not. Every time you have a thought and you go, all right, I envision everyone getting along. I'm not judging anybody anymore. I'm just giving compassion because everybody's doing the best where they're at, even if they're wearing a mask, even if they're defending the V, even if they won't even do any research, even if they're glued to the television. Then don't waste your energy on them. They're perfectly playing their role. But it takes a second level of attention and observation to see this. Okay? Here's a key. The light is already won. This has been predicted for ages in history, and it's happening now. It's never happened at this level before. And if you go back in history, we've been enslaved for thousands of years. Our DNA got hijacked. There have been kings and queens and illegal governments ruling over people for ages. And now it's all imploding. Why? Because the frequency of the planet's going up, people's conscious awareness is raising, and they can't do it anymore. It cannot exist in the higher frequencies. This is all good news, and when you begin to start to tune into good news and find all the good things, guess what? Since you're a magnet, a walking magnet, you start to attract more like-minded people, more abundance, more synchronicities. Oh, you'll never guess what happened. I started focusing on all the good, and now all this good's showing up in my life. Yeah, I know. It took me 30 to 40 years to figure that out too, and now I'm doing it every single day. I wrote a book on how to do it and how to never forget it, because even after studying with one of the world famous mentors on the planet in San Diego for 10 years, I still had to figure out the process on my own. He didn't teach me that. What he got me to see was the huge opening of he got me to question my belief system. And when I did that, the biggest light bulb went off and I went, oh my God, none of my beliefs are even mine, none of them. They all came from outside myself. Catholic school, church, my parents, lack, fear, the media, school, all programming. And when I saw that, I went, oh my God. Everybody is reacting to anything that either challenges their belief system or triggers an unhealed childhood wound. When you go in and clean up the childhood wound, and you may not even know that you have one, but if you get triggered, then you've got one. And it's no big deal. It's so easy to heal. I'll say that again. It's so easy to heal when you're ready. And if that triggers anybody, maybe it's supposed to. My intention is to love on everybody. We're all connected. But yeah, I had some deep shit to heal. And I assist people almost every day of the week on calls and through my course to do this. And it happens so quick. And usually it just comes down to one thing, which is forgiveness of yourself or understanding and being open to the fact that that was part of your soul contract, no matter how horrific it was. And I journey with some people that have been through some horrific stuff. myself included. Death, murder, rape, abuse, horrible stuff. But there's gifts in all of this if we're willing to be open, because we chose it as part of our soul contract. And some of you might go, there's no way I chose this shit. And I agree with you. I said that for the first 30 years of my life. Like, there's no way I would have ever chosen to go through this much pain and suffering. But I did. And now when I looked at what is the gift here, what is this trying to teach me on my soul's journey, now I shifted the whole thing. My life and my relationships are different. Now I attract abundance. I used to be broke all my life because everybody I was around, my family, my mom, when my dad died, it was all fear about money. My uncle had 8 kids. You better finish that last pea or what was it? Brussels sprouts. I couldn't stand them. They used to force me to eat them. I couldn't get up from the table until I ate my Brussels sprouts. They used to make me gag. Everything was about lack. It was just ingrained. It took me a long time to figure that one out. Now I give away money. I tip people double just to show that it just comes in and it goes. You've got to get to that point. Otherwise, if you're holding on to money at all, it's not going to flow. You've got to even fake it until you make it in the beginning. And the way that I did that, I've explained this on calls. If you go and have lunch or dinner and then you get the bill. That's a spell word. And then you go, okay, what should I tip him or her? Was she good? Was the food good? Did she bring it out? It doesn't matter. Those are all just 3D programs. Just tip because you love. And so what I started to do was, anytime I thought about how much to give somebody, I automatically doubled it. Didn't matter whether the service was good or not. This might be a woman with working 3 jobs with 4 kids at home. The chef was sick or drunk. It wasn't her fault. They didn't have the food. And we're all making all these judgments and comparisons to try and decide what she's worth. So I began to tip double and triple, just to make people happy. And it wasn't because I had a lot of money, and it wasn't because I'm so great. It was because I needed to learn how to give away more in order for it to flow to me effortlessly. So these are really big keys. So I hope that answered your question, Stephanie. If you have any question on fine-tuning it. So the key is unplug from any low vibrational stuff that doesn't make you excited and happy. Because, check it out. Just an example. Okay, so let's say that's you. You're actually way bigger than that star. But above that is 5D, all the new Earth timelines, which are already here. And then below it is staying in the 3D matrix, which you can see there's a lot more right now below you, who's the big star. It doesn't mean this ratio is right. The point is, begin to focus only on things that make you happy and bring you joy. And when you wake up in the morning, go, oh, wow, I get another day here. Oh, my God. Every one of these trillions of cells has been unconditionally loving on me every single moment since I've been in the womb, and I haven't even had to ask them for anything. They've been purifying my blood, beating my heart, doing trillions of conversions in my head, and I haven't even had to do anything, and they've just served me. And my body's been beat up. I hurt my body so much just being an idiot when I was younger. Motorcycle crashes, bicycle crashes, drinking alcohol, partying my ass off, eating fast food every day, living in a recording studio. And my body serves me. I love on it every day now. And I only put high vibrational food and water and drink and stuff into it. And I thank it every day for tolerating my ignorance when I didn't know any better. So only focus on that which you desire to see more of. You can see when you look outside, they only have one program, and that's distract, 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 fear, 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 ramp it up, ramp it up, ramp it up, ramp it up. That's all they do on the television programming over and over. It's the same program. Unplug from the program. And your mind might go, well, Jeff, it's not going to go away if we just ignore it. Yes, it is. Because number one, there are people working behind the scenes that are removing some of these really dark players that have been in control in government and beyond. They're being removed. Trust in that. Do not give them your energy. And so, yeah, I love this quote right here from New Boom. What a time to be alive. Yeah. It doesn't mean you're not going to have any challenges. I've had some big things come up in the last 2 weeks. My mom had brain surgery. She's doing amazing, by the way. Thank you to everybody that left your wonderful, amazing comments and sent Reiki and healing and love and private message to me and checked in. Thank you, thank you, thank you. She's doing amazing. She actually went home the very next day, and she's doing wonderful. And then my wild jungle dog, Master Wuji, who some of you have seen on my lives, he had surgery 2 days ago. And he's doing much better today. I've had him stay with me for the first time ever. He's never slept indoors. He lives outside in the woods. So he trusts me, and he's doing well too. So the point is, I've had some things come up that were really intense for my body. I'm an empath and my family. And so the question is, when I feel stressed or intensified by watching the dog that I love having surgery on a table right in front of me, not even a hospital. They did this outdoors. They got some amazing teams here in Thailand that come around and do this stuff. And after his surgery, they laid him down on the ground, and I'll just tell you, he looked dead. His eyes were wide open. His tongue was hanging out. It was all dried up, and he wasn't moving. And I've never seen anything like that. It freaked me out. But he's doing great. So it is an incredible time to be alive. And it's an incredible time to focus on one word: unlimited. How many people here, pop in a yes if you focus on knowing that you are an unlimited divine being? And I know that you know this somehow in your intuition, but are you creating your reality every morning and throughout the day? Are you playing with the word unlimited? Because very few people that I know even really think like that. They're so busy just day by day stuff that they don't go, wow, I can attract anything I desire. I can create anything that I desire. Unlimited is a big word because we don't know what the limits are because there are none. All right, Lee says yes. Awesome. And Lee says yes at 11:33. So I kind of love that synchronicity right there. It's 11:33 where I am in Thailand on Tuesday morning. So this is the invitation to stop running the 3D lower vibrational programs of lack, limitation, fear, aging. How many people here are playing with reversing their aging? And I talked about loving on every one of your cells. I love on my cells every morning, first thing while I'm lying in bed. I do this. I on my body. I love you, every cell. I do it every morning. You might think that's funny, but my body, when I'm ohming and running those tones, that's raising my vibration, and it works. And I can tell you that my body is much more relaxed today than it's ever been in my entire life. And it's because I do that every single morning. And you can too. And that amplifies your magnetic frequency. So here's another key. If you think something is hard or difficult, you're going about it in a 3D mindset. If you think money is hard to come by, if you're still using the words W-O-R-K, work, that's a spell word. It has a very low, heavy energy to it. I don't use those words anymore. I use the word play. I substitute it. Now this might take you a little bit of time to start removing these words from your 3D vocabulary. But I journey with people every week, and after I mirror them, don't use the words work, try, wish, hope, need, want ever again, they start to catch them like the very next time. So you can undo and dismantle 20, 30, 40, 50, 60, 70, 80, 90 years of programming just by beginning to pay a little bit more attention to spell words and frequency and choosing every day. All I'm going to do every day is focus on what brings me joy. And if I have to take care of something that I don't love, then I do it as the conscious observer. I navigate through it, and a real great mantra that will keep you focused as a conscious observer is just 3 simple words. Isn't this interesting? Isn't this interesting as I walk through town and watch people wearing their MASKS? Isn't this interesting that I'm feeling this? Isn't this interesting that they're trying to push this agenda over and over and over? And so many people still can't see it when it's been right in their face. So much proof you couldn't even deny it if you tried, yet people are denying it still because they went along with it since the beginning, and now they can't change their story because they can't admit that they've been lied to about everything. The only way you're going to have freedom is to wake up and admit that you've been lied to about almost everything. Okay, it's cool. All right, so now we know. Anybody that's aware knows this. So now we don't need to fight the old system. What we do is we change the internal programming, which changes our frequency, which changes our magnetic pull, which begins to pull in 5D matching vibrational timelines. It's the law. It works. So any other questions? Hey, Sarah, great to see you. Thank you for your energy showing up. Yeah, it's definitely. Yeah, it's a huge awakening going on right now. And it's kind of ugly. But look around. It's so in people's faces, and they still don't want to wake up. They're still like in denial. You could show them the evidence. Yeah, it's got poison in it. It's got HIV. It alters your DNA. It's got monkey DNA in it. Every single thing in the V is toxic. And if that triggers somebody, then do some research on Rumble or BitChute. Rumble.com or BitChute.com. Those are 2 of the only websites that haven't been squashed by Gaggle and the dark controllers. You know, it might be shocking to you. It probably will be if you kind of been going along with the narrative of whatever your doctor tells you. But I'm baffled that so many doctors are still going along with this. There's thousands of them that aren't, but you don't hear about any of that in the media because the media is still owned by the bad guys. So this is all shifting. So just send them all love. In fact, right now, we can just blast love to anybody that's still either disconnected from their soul or somehow got hijacked or brainwashed or manipulated into working for the dark and harming children and harming people on the planet and creating toxic chemicals. And nobody that's connected to their heart and soul would ever do that. So we just send them love. For whatever reason, they're perfectly playing their role in the Grand Awakening. So just send love to anybody that you're judging, anybody that you still have to forgive. This is a good one. If there's anybody that you still haven't forgiven, pull them up right now. In fact, ask yourself right now, is there anybody that I still haven't forgiven, including myself? It'll come up. You'll remember. Now, some people you might not remember till 3 weeks later, and you'll go, I haven't thought about that person in 40 years, since 3rd grade. They laughed at me and, you know, did whatever they did in front of the whole class, and I felt humiliated and embarrassed. Yeah, that stayed with you because you had to protect yourself, and you put a big iron safety thing around that so nobody else could ever come in, so that would never happen to you again. The point is there anybody left to forgive? Because if you haven't forgiven them, then guess who's holding the frequency that's going to attract more of those like people and situations into your life to keep showing you that until you finally get it. This is what's magnificent about the soul's contract, is and it can piss you off, is it'll keep bringing the same thing in life and relationships and the same challenges and issues up over and over and over until you finally get it. Because the soul is patient. There's no such thing as time. It'll wait forever because it knows that you're going back to the all unlimited, magnificent, sovereign, divine being that knows everything. We're just journeying through a movie right now. I don't have it all figured out. One of my most empowering statements to myself is, I know nothing. I mean, I kind of have an idea that I'm love and that I'm a sovereign, unlimited being, but I don't need to claim that I know something, because that's just the ego and the belief system, and that'll mess you up every time. I just choose love in every situation, and I love on myself, not from the ego. So anyway, if there's any other questions or anything, pop them in. And again, if there's anybody left to forgive, forgive them. You know what mastery is? When you not only forgive somebody, but you thank them for perfectly playing their role on your soul's journey. Yeah. Can you imagine that? Ego doesn't like that one, huh? Thank them? Are you kidding me? They screwed me over. My ex-husband left me homeless and stole all my money. I know. Maybe you did that to somebody else in a previous lifetime. I don't know. But all I know is that was part of your agreed upon soul contract. And if you can even be open to that, you can shift everything in your life and your reality moving forward, starting right now. Otherwise, you will continue to hold that frequency and repeat it over and over and over. I intend that you find this valuable, because these tools changed my entire life, and it's why I do what I do. So if anybody's interested in going on the journey, I've got 3 spots available right now for September. I had to even look at what month it is. I don't even know what month it is. I love that. But I journey with people for 30 days, and we do this mirroring every single day almost. And then they go through the PowerPoint trainings in the digital online course, which you can get for less than $100 on my website. Less than a night going out for dinner and drinks or whatever. Completely change the way you create your reality. Get you to see the programs like that quick. And it's truly life-changing. So if anybody is interested in doing that, follow the link there, Portal to Awakenings, the website. And it'll tell you all about it with all the testimonials from the people that already thought they were awake, and they're like, oh my God, I still had all these programs running that I couldn't even see. These tools will get to the root of all of it faster than anything else I've ever found. So that's it. Have an incredible evening. Forgive everyone. Become the conscious observer. Begin to create your reality with your thoughts and your words and your emotions, beginning first thing every morning. If you're not doing this already, I invite you to commit to doing this every single morning. Set alarms on your phone to go off throughout the day. If you don't, I guarantee it, you're pretty much just running the same programs. And I'm not saying that anybody on here isn't already awake and running fabulous, loving, consciously aware programs. This is what some people would benefit from hearing. And I know this because they send me messages every day. What about this? What about that? I have this problem. I've still got this wound. How do I heal? This is how we do it. And this is the fastest way I've ever found in my entire life. So, thank you to everybody. Thank you for tuning in. Thank you to everybody that shares these with people that they feel might benefit. And again, if you're interested in going on the 30-day Waking Up in the Dream Transformational Journey, go to the website, portaltoawakening.com, and check it out. The book's on sale for half price. The digital course, you can start instantly with over 4 hours of PowerPoint trainings. It will change your life. If you're out there going, I want to create a shift, I'm telling you, this will create a shift, guaranteed, faster than anything I've ever found. And I took most of the top seminars in LA, in Las Vegas, in Sedona, and I bought all the top spiritual books. And they all had some good stuff in them. Oops, just lost my connection. Isn't that interesting? I just lost my connection. Isn't that interesting? You can look at every single thing that triggers you or trips you up or gets you to go into judgment or a negative reaction. I call them triggers, automatic reactions. And look at it and go, isn't that interesting? You will stop the cycle of those things happening over and over and over, and it will change everything in your life and relationships. I intend that you find that valuable. Sending you lots of love. Have an incredible day. And I'll be back on, I think, my Friday, which is your Thursday. All right. Have an incredible day. Thank you to everybody that participated. Thank you to everybody that commented and asked questions. Thank you to everybody that shares this with people that could, use some upliftment, use some tools. This stuff is priceless, and it works. So thank you, everybody. Have an incredible day or evening wherever you're at, and